It's so hard. But look, I think we're nearly there. I can see it. Let's keep going. Come on, high five.
I'm not high-fiving that. I'm too tired, Steph. Why don't you just get a taxi? It's really cheap. It's
So
Los Angeles. For God's sake. And some sheep. Ooh, I feel like that's the first time I've ever seen sheep in a racing game.
I came here to kill this fella whose name I definitely can't pronounce.
Bye-bye. Oh,
Carnage that's on screen. Stressful.
it's very responsive. I mean, it's so smooth.
Sometimes we come to E3 and learn about new... Here it starts.
Look at you see this.
New ways to play. Sometimes we come to E3 and we hear about new consoles or new ways to play, like virtual reality.
Yeah, but actually, you know what? As stupid as this is going to sound, right? This year isn't about any of that. It's all about games. And I know that sounds obvious, but there were a lot of games. I don't think we can really get across how many games there were.
Games. More games. All the games.
Would you like some more games?
Here's a game.
I mean, I've got a game if you'd like a game.
Have a game, sir. More games.
Would you like another game? There's one in my bag. Would you like that?
One in my pocket.
You've got very big pockets. Why is there a game in there? Pocket.
I'm just about to play some Rage 2.
An orphan of this wasteland. An army of mutants killed everyone I ever loved.
The original game came out quite a long time ago and was one of those games that a lot of people missed. Those of us that did find it in sort of weird, random ways completely and totally fell in love with it. So we're back this time, and they've promised us that it's going to be much more of the same, which was these kind of like tense sort of corridors with kind of weird mutants that you've got to kind of take on, but with a much bigger open world.
Our main protagonist is out to find a rare artifact that will aid him in his quest to take down the Authority.
There's a guy right up there, sorry. Oh, no. I shot him up his bottom. One of the things I've noticed a lot actually about the games that have come out this year at E3 is that with a lot of the older engines, everything was always, like games like Skyrim, the old Rage, things like that, they looked very much kind of quite grey, quite dark. There wasn't a lot of kind of punch and colour, and what we're actually starting to see now is really poppy colours. It's sort of the kind of level of polish that you would expect from something like Forza, that's ultimately really distracting when you drive a car. Ooh, I've got a shotgun. Here, hello, bye-bye, bye-bye. Oh, and one there, there we go. I want to do that. I want to shoot you with the shotgun, my friend. Oh, lovely. It's got all the right characteristics. It looks very different to other shooters that are out there. If they've kept the fun and the kind of really fast, frenetic pace of the other one, it's going to be really, really good.
So this is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. It's the game that fans went absolutely crazy for when it was first announced a couple of months ago online. Now it's a brand new Super Smash Bros. Game, so basically it's built from the ground up especially for the Nintendo Switch. So it's not a remake or a reversioning of something you've seen before, it's totally new. Saying that though, it does feel very familiar if you've played any of the original games, from the menu screens to the carnage that's on screen and the characters too. It does feel like a game that you've played before, and if you have played it before, probably loved too. Now every character that's ever been in the game before is back this time with some extras as well. So you're talking over 60 characters in total. Some of your favourite Nintendo types are there, Mario, Zelda, Fox, that I'm playing here for example, and the usual randomers like Solid Snake. I don't know why he's in there, he just is. You can play with him, it's really fun. The game feels faster, a bit more technical than previous versions maybe. It's probably down to the fact that it's got a big competitive scene, Super Smash Bros. At the moment, and so they're probably tailoring the game a little bit to those players. Now, what I can't tell from playing this for 15-20 minutes or so here at the show floor is whether this is going to be able to bring in new fans to the franchise. If you love Super Smash Bros. Already, then it's all here. All your characters, the usual sort of action and cutesy, bright graphics. But if I've never played the franchise before, is this a game for me? I'm not too sure. It's hard to tell at this point. If you're after a fun, fast, frantic fighting game, then this one could be for you.
One of the ways that gamers like to justify their console purchases is by what exclusive titles that they're going to get. You know, what they're going to get that someone else won't.
And 2019 is shaping up to be a big year on this front because of what's happened this week at E3. Xbox, they've announced that 2 of their heavy hitters are coming back, and we've seen a lot more about some intriguing stuff coming from PlayStation. We finally saw some Death Stranding gameplay, Hideo Kojima's mysterious tale about surviving in a world of invisible monsters and where babies, well, they live in jars. Halo Infinite is Master Chief's next adventure and picks up right after the events of Halo 5. The Last of Us 2 continues the heartbreaking story of life after society has collapsed. This time, we're mainly playing as teenager Ellie.
She went into the grass. Watch yourself.
The 5th installment of the Gears of War series will be the first in a new trilogy of games.
Stories up! Incoming!
If you've ever wanted to be a super policeman with a massive suit of power armor, then Crackdown 3 will be for you.
Bigger! Jackson!
You are my friend.
From the creators of Infamous, this is a gorgeous-looking open-world game set in 13th century Japan. Okay, yeah, no, this isn't working. I'm gonna have to take that off. Frankly, I can't see the screen. It does look cool, doesn't it? Right, this is Assassin's Creed Odyssey. It is the 11th game in this famous gaming franchise. Now, a couple of months ago, I wouldn't have been so sure that this was coming out because Assassin's Creed in 2016 had a year off, and we thought they might have been moving away from their annual release cycle, but no, it is back, and this time it's set in ancient Greece. Right, so how is this game different then? Well, to begin with, like you can see on the screen now, I have got dialogue options for the first time. In other words, I can choose how I'm interacting with characters on the screen. Before, when I went to a cutscene, I was basically a witness, a passenger, sat there watching it happen. This time, I can actually make choices that impact on the game. So I'm going to say here, I came here to kill this fella, whose name I definitely can't pronounce. I'm going to go with Podarkes. Definitely wrong.
You carry the blade of Leonidas. Act like it.
We really wanted to make history your playground. And so when we were building this game, we had choice at the center of all of the experience in how we're playing and approaching the game, and also how we're looking at story and narrative. And so allowing us to have choice, allowing you to have choice, really makes it your experience. Whether you're talking to someone in a certain way, or you're going to, I don't know, customize yourself so you could be like a true assassin or a hybrid warrior assassin and ranged person. We really wanted players to be able to make the experience their own.
So what makes this Assassin's Creed different is that it's really focusing on the RPG element of the game. Lots of customizable options, so you can really have a different experience depending on how you choose to play it. They touched upon this in Origins that came last year, but they're really hammering it this time and giving you lots of choices to choose how your weapon works and what armor you wear too. Now, for the first time in franchise history, you can make a choice whether you play as a man or a woman. You have been able to play as a woman before, but this is the first time you've been able to choose what gender your character is. How important was that for you and the team?
I think when you're looking at choice and you're like, oh, we're going to make a game that's based on choice and player choice, well, one of those choices would be to be able to choose who you play. And so it was extremely important for us to be able to offer both Alexios and Cassandra so that, you know, anybody could play. It's an equal opportunity game for everybody.
Now, what a lot of players are hoping for is some more variety in the missions when it comes to Odyssey compared to the previous one, Origins. Some people thought that a lot of those missions were go and save this prisoner or go and clear this camp, and they're hoping for a bit more variety this time around. One of the most significant changes about this Assassin's Creed, the ones we've seen before, are these things called conquest battles. Basically, your hero turns up in the middle of a 150 versus 150 sort of brutal war, and you can get stuck in. Very different to sort of the parkour, stealthy action of old that we've seen with Assassin's Creed over the years. Reminds me a little bit of those Lord of the Rings games, Shadow of War, Shadow of Mordor, that sort of feel. Some fans might not like it, other fans might think it's nice to have a bit of variety, a bit of change. Is it taking, you know, the focus away from what you've played before and fallen in love with before? Take me home to the place I belong, West Virginia, country road.
Oh, sorry, we were just singing.
Sorry.
Right, we're in the Fallout 76 bunker because there isn't anything playable yet, and we just wanted to suck up the aura and the spirit of the place, because E3, yes, is about getting your hands on with games, but also about getting very excited about games we're not going to play for quite some time.
Yes, they do like teasing us here at E3, so here are our favourite trailers that we've seen, or some extra gameplay footage that they've shown off at this year's show.
In Vault 76, our future begins.
City of Dreams.
It's an RPG, so you're going to have your character creation.
Yeah.
You're going to build your character from scratch. You're going to choose elements of the backstory. You're going to choose your appearance and all of those things. And then what we're going to give you is a many hours long story with cool characters and choices and consequence. And in between all of those things, really great action scenes that we hope will knock your socks off.
But there are loads of games, of course, here this year that we have had a chance to get playing as well. We've seen some already. There are tons more out there that we want to play. Call of Duty Black Ops 4 has already caused a bit of a stir this year because it announced earlier that it's ditching its single-player mode, instead focusing on multiplayer and zombies instead. The game has made some updates and tweaks to the way it plays, so it's fun but yet familiar. You can really see the influence of titles like Overwatch has had on the game because of the emphasis on different characters you can select, giving you more choice as to how you play.
Is it? Are you sure?
Just a mannequin.
You sure?
Everybody's okay. He's just a mannequin. He's not a mannequin at all. He's not a mannequin at all. How you stay? Hello, Mr. Police Officer Man.
Introduce yourself, God. Hi.
Okay, right.
Jesus Christ! I'm just playing through some of the Resident Evil 2 remake, which is HD in all of its glory. I loved the original, it terrified the heck out of me, and I'm ready for it to do it all over again, but in HD. Oh my God, he's giving himself a pep talk in his head. You can do this, come on Leon. Don't freak out yet. Not yet. Oh God. Do you want to go in here? I don't think. Oh! Let me out. Oh crap. Is he a zombie? Oh bloody hell.
This is Overcooked 2. It's the sequel to the BAFTA-winning multiplayer cooking game made in Cambridge. Really fun, but really stressful. We're playing Battlefield 5 at the moment. Now, we knew this was coming. It has been shown off before, but lots of people are getting to try it out for the first time. And when they are playing it, the major difference they're going to see is a brand new setting for the game. This time, you're based in World War II. This is Fortnite. Now, I don't need to explain to you what Fortnite is, of course, but this is Fortnite on the Switch. And it makes total sense for this game to be on this console, and now it is. So there you go.
So I am getting my hands on the brand new Spider-Man. I know a lot of you guys out there are going to be a little bit jealous of this, because who doesn't love our friendly neighbourhood Spider-Man? First impressions, I'm basically just gallivanting about the city, running up buildings and web slinging all over the place. And the first thing you're going to notice when you do this is how easy it is. Like some of you guys, if you played Assassin's Creed and you traverse the city, this is even easier. I'm literally holding down one button, tapping and just flying. It's pretty spectacular, actually, I have to say. I don't really want to do any missions. I think I'm just going to hang out doing this. Now, some of you guys out there might have played some of the Batman Arkham games. And the one thing that you would have known if you've played that is that the combat is very responsive. You can't really go into fight situations and just kind of button mash your way through. And basically, it's pretty similar on this one. You have to react when someone's attacking you and kind of dodge out of the way. You can't just run up to someone if they're shooting a gun at you and not take lots of damage. So, yeah, it makes the combat interesting and kind of engaging and like quite rewarding as well, because you actually feel like you've had a fight. Oh, bit close. I have to say, I am not the biggest Marvel fan. I'm not the biggest Spider-Man fan either. I've yet to kind of had a Spider-Man game that I've really got into, particularly if I'm brutally honest about it. But having played this for a few minutes and seeing like what other games they've kind of borrowed really good gameplay mechanics from, I think I could play this. I mean, it's so smooth, just honestly going around the whole of the city and just gliding about. It's pretty fantastic.
Wait, you?
If you don't recognise Nolan North's face, then how about this guy?
But come on, it's a surefire plan.
Or this fella?
But why?
Desmond!
What is going on back there?
Him? He's the Tom Cruise of the gaming world, and we kicked off E3 week by sitting down with him before he received a BAFTA Special Achievement Award for his long service to the gaming industry.
And I came from a theater background, so I thought, well, this looks like digital theater. I want to do this. And I remember thinking it was the one thing that I've ever gambled on and won.
Because you do both, you know, voicing and sort of voiceover work, and of course the motion capture stuff. How has gaming changed?
Well, gaming has become much more sophisticated, as well as the gamer. You know, the person with that controller has become more sophisticated. They want more in-depth stories, and it's become this hugely successful, financially successful industry. And now that's why you see the likes, you know, bigger stars getting involved. And I think it's great for gaming. I would really credit the writing. The writing has exponentially just gone up and up because that's what the public demands. Most actors are attracted to a good story and a well-written story. And I think that's why you see some of these, you know, A-listers wanting to be part of it, not only for the paycheck, but for the fact that you are challenged in ways that you normally wouldn't be. So one of my favorite things is the fact that I am not limited to what I look like, especially in motion capture.
Power, got the meat hooks coming left at you. You're watching the right, it's again left. The right is just like, could stay home.
I'm hoping this isn't where they say, hey, here's your special achievement award. Take care. We've had enough.
See you later.
You got to go. Because I still got stuff to do.
One of the most important
things that a good racing game should have is a good variety, wide reach of different types of cars for different moods. And we found this one and we thought, it'd be a pretty good one to race around a track, I think.
It looks like my car playing a racing game because I very rarely stay on the track.
That's true. No, it definitely does look like your car. But I think you'll like this one.
Don't push me into it.
If anyone's going to die, it's going to be you.
One of the most exciting games of this year's E3 has to be Forza Horizon 4 because it's set in Great Britain, which is amazing. Obviously you're not going to be set up, you know, and stuck in a traffic jam on the M40 because that would be rubbish. No, it's going to be a lot more exciting than that.
I'm not a big racing game fan usually, but I do really like this franchise because it's just one that's easier to pick up and play.
Bank holiday traffic and some sheep. Ooh. Is that the first time you've had sheep crossing a track in a racing game? I feel like that's the first time I've ever seen sheep. So as you're going to be playing against other real people on all of these maps, when the weather changes, it actually changes for everybody. So if it's autumn, everyone has to play through autumn and dealing with leaves. Or if it's rainy, then it's water on the roads, or even winter, or even snow.
Yeah.
So if you're getting a snowy day, so am I.
It's like a shared world. It's like a car racing MMO, essentially, because every other car will be another person.
You have to remember that Forza Horizon is a very, very different racing game to the classic Forza. This is all about kind of fun, fast-paced, pick up and play. Certain amount of realism, but not too much. Just enough to kind of keep it interesting, but it's all about fun.
One of the things I've learned from doing this is that there's loads of people around the world for whom Britain is a different kind of exotic, right? And for me, and I think for a bunch of people in the team, we've kind of rediscovered the country we live in because you get blasé about it, you forget what's on your doorstep. And for me, the last 18 months has been about remembering what a beautiful, diverse, varied country we live in, what a sense of history runs through all of it.
Well, that was E3 2018. I don't really know what just happened. I'm shocked there's sunlight.
I know, it's tricky, isn't it? But let's try to process it, shall we? What was your favourite game you played? For me, I really liked Forza Horizon, probably. That was the one that grabbed my attention the most.
So, but you don't like racing games?
I know it's a bit weird, right? But it was really fun to play, and I liked the fact that it was based in the UK as well.
Do you mean that there's a bit in Wales?
And you can play in Wales, that was cool.
For me, it has to be Rage 2, mainly because I played the first one and loved it to bits. And as soon as I got that kind of overpowered shotgun in my hand and I was back in their world, I was like, oh yes, this is my happy place.
What about the ones they teased then?
It's got to be Cyberpunk 2077. I was really excited before, and now, if anything, it just made it worse.
Yeah.
I'm like too excited now. I can't even formulate a sentence constructively about it.
I'm really looking forward to Last of Us 2.
Oh, bit of a feels.
Yeah, beautiful scene at the beginning and some, really good combat stuff in there and what they showed off. I'm really excited for that one.
Amazing. Yeah, well.
What should we do now though?
Well, it's Los Angeles, so we're going to sit in 3 hours worth of traffic in the sunshine because, let's be honest, reality, a bit rubbish. This is why people play games.